and everything, man. Listen, one and done rule, man. They talking about bringing that back. 18, allowing kids to come into the league fresh out of high school.
Right.
Your thoughts on that?
I think it's a good thing, man. But I think the process needs to be vetted, like not just let anybody come in. You gotta like have a legitimate shot. You know what I'm saying? Not just let anybody put their name in the draft, because once they open the floodgates, you know,
everybody gonna come
everybody
in.
will come in.
That
But I think it has to be,
right?
I think it has to be real conversations had whether you're ready or not.
I think, well, the thing I presented to Adam, I talked to Adam Silver about this, about a mentoring opportunity, about bringing some of the older guys back, being mentors to some of these younger guys that I think can help. But the thing I want to be able to kind of push out there and say that if a guy doesn't have the ability to make our league, he should have the opportunity to go back to college and polish his game up and have the opportunity to go back to school.
I was just about to say that.
You gotta have that, right?
I don't think they should hold a guy back if he can go and compete in the NBA.
Right.
Yeah. But like you said, like Kmart said, a lot of these guys are just putting their name in the draft, and they don't even have a chance of making the NBA. But if they can regulate it to where only certain guys can put their name in, and you can't just throw your name in the draft thinking you're going to get drafted, I think it'll be perfect for these kids.
Let me ask you this one. What's more likely to happen? 4 years of college, a guy goes 4 years of college, gets drafted #1 like Kmart, last to do it, or the floodgates opening in these young 18, 17-year-old young guys coming from high school, just coming into our league, and we repeating the same kind of process that we've already been through.
I think it's the same thing. I think these high school players will start getting picked over those 4-year players for sure. Just because you just think their upside is way more, you know, because they're so young compared to you seeing a guy that played for 4 years and you feel like now that they reached their ceiling, but you kind of know exactly who they are.
We haven't learned our lesson though. You don't think we've learned something from the first time? If I'm a GM, I'm definitely not riding off potential like I used to. Let me say that.
You can't.
It's got to be a proven system.
Right.
And listen, I'm just throwing this out here. Theory. You got the G League. And they trying to make that G League thrive. You know how you get thriving? You know how you make something thrive? You put all type of young talent in it.
Product.
That's another thing I want to be able to see that I think they're going to try to grow. The G League.
They're going to have to. Because just think about it. Last year was I think there was 168 underclassmen that declared for the draft. That's 168 underclassmen. Not to mention the seniors and the kids that's coming from overseas and all that. 160-some underclassmen.
And just think about how many of those can play. Actually, have the opportunity.
So that's my thing.
I think sometimes it'd be other circumstances that make them come out as well. I think that some of them be like flunked out of school and they ain't really have an opportunity.
But what percentage is that's a small number.
I would think it would be high because you would think about it.
Yeah.
We all know it's only 60 picks. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we know going into the draft, 20 of them initially we know off the bat, and then you got the overseas guys and everything else. So I think I just think a lot of guys just be going just because they have no other choice.
And I like what KG said about if you declare for the draft but you're not able to get drafted, you should let these kids allowed to go back to school. Because I was a prime example of that. I thought I would get drafted in the first round in a lottery, which you're guaranteed a contract. Slipped into the second round. And, you know, me being a 19-year-old, I didn't want to go overseas and play basketball, but I couldn't go back to school because I had an agent. So I think if they could find out a way to where these kids, if they don't get drafted, they still have a chance to go off to school. Not
only that, but I think it's a great balance of being able to play the middle. Hey, you weren't good enough to play in the NBA, go back to college, get you an education, play 3-4 years if you want to, polish your game, and then reevaluate yourself.
Just like the baseball thing. Like they draft and they have your rights. Let's say like you would have got drafted the second round, you're like, well, I think I need to get better, I want to go back to school. You could have went back to school and then Seattle still had your rights
when you come in.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like a farm system, but I think they need to do more, put more finance into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the key. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids need to make a living, earn a living, and be able to, do other things. But
and they can afford it.
Definitely can afford it.
Wonder Boy, give me a question, man. Let's hear from the people.
Got a question from Taquan. Who helped y'all out the most throughout each of your careers?
That's cool. Let me hear that. Who was your vet?
My vet, I came in my rookie year, man. I learned a lot my rookie year. I had guys like Sherman Douglas. I had Johnny Newman.
These are all hitters right here.
You know
Sherman Douglas is hardcore.
And then Johnny Newman. I had guys like that who I could look, Lucius Harris, the guys who had been around the league for a while. So I learned a lot my rookie year, just watching those guys, how they moved, how they came to the game.
The advice they giving you, right?
Yeah, it was never late. It was always professional. They dressed the part. Like, I learned all of that early. You know what I'm saying? So I took that throughout my career. You know know what I'm saying? So them guys helped me out a lot.
That's what's up. What about you, Al?
For me, it was Antonio Davis. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
I came in, he let me live with him my first year.
Oh, that's what's
so
up.
I live rent-free, you know what I'm saying, living the life in this big, huge house he had out there. But he taught me everything, man. He taught me how to be professional. I tell people one story all the time is that I had got my taxes in the mail when I'm 18, never seen taxes before ever. So I get it, open up the FedEx box, look, I don't know what it is. I put it in my closet. So one day I come home from practice, he just signed his taxes. So I'm like, yo, what's that? He was like, I'm paying my taxes. I was like, I got some books just like that.
Up in the closet.
It's like,
Go up there and bring them down here.
pay your taxes.
Yeah.
So
When
he
they come
told me,
lock you up.
well, I ain't had
You know
no
the
issue
people
with the
come in and get
IRS.
you, right.
Yeah, for sure. So he taught me a lot too.
Gotta have that,
That's
man.
what's up, man.
Shot, what about you, man?
This is gonna make me sound a little old, but
All of us. All of us. Good. Go ahead.
Deadlift Shrimp was a guy
Oh,
that helped
man,
me out a
that's
lot.
all
man.
right.
Because,
That's what's up.
you know, I was a young kid, came into the league. I was like a deer in headlights. So he was one of those guys. Every time during practice or when we playing, he would pull me to the side, let me know what I'm doing wrong.
Oh, that's
He
right.
kept me motivated, and he was always helping me, even if it's during the game or if it's in practice. And he made sure I got to the gym early to lift weights and get shots up. So I would say he really helped me elevate my career to the next level.
Sam Mitchell was mine,
I was
man.
about to ask you.
Sam
So who's
Mitchell,
yours?
man, gutty guy, man. You know what I love about the vets? They wasn't afraid to push you. They wasn't afraid to challenge you. They wasn't afraid to tell you stuff that you probably need to hear.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed, man. Obviously, we all come from different backgrounds. He was more like a father figure or a big brother to me. He gave me great advice, and he wasn't afraid of anything. And he taught me hard work first.
Yeah.
And that's gonna differentiate you, make you different from everybody. So I was like, and then he showed me how to work. And he was consistent. He again showed me that professional bug.
Right.
Told me, hey, look, this is your job, and I never forgot that, man. I truly believe that what you learn in your first year is what carries you through your years. When I
doubt.
watch Boogie,
No
Yeah,
doubt.
I was about to say.
when I
took
watch
the words right out
Cousins,
my
man,
mouth.
I watch Cousins from the perspective that he never had
Yeah.
a rookie that would get in it. I mean, he didn't have a. And you see that. You know what I'm saying?
I've been saying that from afar.
Let me ask y'all this: How long is it to when you can't reach a guy to where he's going to be stuck in his ways? 7 years, 6 years, 5 years?
I think if you don't reach him in the first two or three, man. Like I think
Depends
if
on
you
the
don't get in there
personality.
early and you let them try to figure it out, or if you got other young guys leading them, like the situation in Philly.
Right.
You got to draft a kid, he's 19.
Another draft.
Next year you draft a kid that's 18. Now that 18 you're looking up to a 19-year-old, and that 19-year-old looking up to a 20-year-old.
Right.
You know what
Bunch
I'm
of
saying?
young
Like, what are you
blind leading
learning?
the blind,
I said, what
right?
are you
Yeah.
learning? So I think
Right.
if you don't reach them in the first couple years, I think it's a lost cause.
Right.
What? Hey, okay. Naruto, Ninetale, Fox, I feel like a Gucci ad-lib. Burr, go to the Coca-Cola, mascot, polo bird. Put my sauce on lasagna, it can make Garfield purr. I ain't